Picture this, London, 2017. I wake up, the alarm goes off, it's about 5 a.m. and I have morning shift. So I have to pack my bag, pack my lunch, walk all the way to the tube station, jump onto the tube, 15 stations down, and here I am opening the gym near Hyde Park in London. I check in with my manager, check what has to be done. I do all the sessions, do all the cleaning for the gym, everything. And after 8-hour shift, I check out, walk to the tube, jump onto another station, 20-minute journey to my next client. These are my private clients because I had to have extra work in order to afford to pay the bills in London and to live the life that I wanted to live. 3 sessions, after that, it's 10 o'clock at night. Jump onto the tube, go back home. On the way, I would grab something like a kebab or something like that, eat it quickly, then I would turn on the screen on the laptop and I'd try and find something to watch on Netflix to dissociate from the reality that I was living in. I then get a message whilst I'm watching this movie saying, actually, the person who was next in the morning shift has cancelled. So now you have to do a back-to-back morning session. So I went from 5 a.m. all the way to 10 o'clock at night. And from 10 o'clock at night, I was going to open the gym at 5 a.m. That was my life. But I didn't know otherwise. I thought that's how money is made. Money comes hard. You have to work long hours. You have to put a lot of effort to make money. Even all this was happening, I always had this feeling that I would see people, I would go on YouTube and watch people show the flashy lights and show the Lamborghinis and show the Ferraris and think there must be someone in the world who's actually being able to crack the code of trading and make money out of this. I know there's prop firms, people that pay money for you to trade if you're good. So I had that little bit of a thought, what else can I do? The stock trading, penny stocks, I start thinking about that. And obviously when you're starting, you're thinking that maybe I can invest like $400, $500, and that can become $1 million overnight. And then I can quit everything here. I can leave this reality that I'm in and go to where I want to be in Bali or Greece. And whilst I'm doing all this, I'm reading self-improvement books. I always loved a self-improvement book. At the time I was reading Rich and Poor Dad, and there was lots of lessons there because my upbringing was all about being safe, protecting the money, buy a house, get onto the mortgage, find a secure job. I've always found a secure job. And for 10 years before moving on to something riskier in the boutique gym industry, I was working as a performance analyst within the Olympics for 11 years. And my salary was not a lot. It was pretty much just a little bit of what a McDonald's will be making. Even though I was doing a very prestigious job, it wasn't paid very well. So whilst I was reading these books, I could dream, I could see myself having the financial freedom to book on private jets. And I had this feeling that I had a belief that I'm going to make it. That was a genuine belief that somehow I'm going to find a way to break this loop that I'm in. And it felt like a loop. It felt like I couldn't find a way out, but there was going to be something that I'm going to do to get out of this reality and create the reality that I want to be in. One of the clients at the time had mentioned that since you have done analysis with sport, maybe you should do something called CFA, and it's Chartered Financial Analyst. He said to me, you're a clever guy, it looks like you like studying. This is one of the most difficult exams you can do in terms of finance, but then you can become a CFA 1, 2, 3, and then you can get a job in the banking industry. And if you like trading, then you can slowly get yourself into something like that. So in my head, I thought, this is how you trade. You have to become a chartered financial analyst. So I had saved a lot of money. For me at the time was about $6,000. And this course normally is funded by banks. The banks would give it to someone, an analyst, who would say, hey, you have to do this for this semester to get credits and to improve your salary in the bank. And everyone who was going there hated it because they were like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be a chartered financial analyst. I've already got a job in the bank. But for me, it was like, here's the way in. I'm going to study this extremely difficult exam and try and pass it and become a chartered financial analyst in Canary Wharf. And it just felt like the dream was coming true. So I paid $6,000 for this course, and I paid for the VIP, which would be live lessons. So then I would go and do the live lessons. And I remember when they started asking the people around, which bank are you here from? And the people would say Barclays. The next one, who are you from? I'm from NatWest, and so on. And I felt so small. I was like, wow. Imposter syndrome was coming in. I was like, why am I here? Have I got the wrong course? Why am I even here? So it came to me and I said, oh, I've just come from the data analyst world and I'm self-funded, because all these guys had the banks paying for it. So the guy looked at me really weird and said, you paid for the course by yourself to become what? Chartered financial analyst without any finance background? And I was like, yeah, I want to get into the finance world. So here we are, started to analyzing equities. We were doing a lot of financial reports. And I soon realized that this has got nothing to do with trading. It was more about investing and understanding what's going to be the next quarter, what the predictions for this company and that company. It is kind of trading, but it was more at an institutional level, which wasn't quite what I was looking for in terms of day trading. And it seemed like I was going to go into another employee scenario with maybe a little bit better salary. So that felt really wrong. So whilst I was doing, I came back and I spoke to my now wife and I said, I've paid all this money, I'm invested in like becoming a better version of myself, but it doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel right. I don't know what I need to do now. I've spent all my savings on this, and I've got another 2 years of learning on this, and it doesn't feel right. We had a long chat and we decided that actually this is not the way to do it. And I changed my mind and I went in and I said, okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to stick with a little bit longer with my situation right now, save some money, and I'm going to find a course in Forex or indices and start trading, because I want to make money out of this. So as I was scrolling on YouTube and things like that, I found, you can call him a Latvian guru. His name is Thomas Kralo, and I did a course by him, the university education about trading. Am I disappointed I did that? Because I paid probably a couple of thousands there to do it. At the time, not really, because I wouldn't be here if I hadn't done a course. So I'm not disappointed in that investment. I'm actually kind of proud of myself that I was brave to, without a lot of money, put that money into investment and to invest in myself and learn. Was I going to find the perfect course? I don't think a perfect course exists. It was a basic course around how to understand technicals, fundamentals, a little bit of psychology. It's just everything that you can find on YouTube or any basic course that you can find online. However, I did that really quick. I did it in sort of like a month. I was 24 hours reading about it, and I started trading the DAX, because that was one of the recommendations there, was to look at indices, because Forex can be quite manipulative and it's quite a big market. So I started trading the DAX and I found some really, really good, I had a really good performance. I was performing really well. I was looking at reversals. I had a system where I was looking for the Bollinger Band to be broken out, a reversal on a level, and then it was all looking really, really good. And at the same time, I had found the Scruffy trader who was also looking at a similar way of trading. He had his own system of identifying levels compared to Kralo, but it was a very similar setup. So that fit in really well. So then I started joining his group and everything was going really well. At the time I had put in about $10,000 of my savings, which sounds like a lot, but that was pretty much everything I had at the time. And I had worked hard to collect that money. And out of that money, I lost $8,000. So pretty much back to zero. Again, I go back to my wife and I was like, what I was thinking, I had to invest that money into myself and to invest it in something like so risky as Forex. But I had done it and here I was. And to give massive kudos to my wife, was that she never said, yeah, why did you do that? She was always there saying, right, okay, what do you need to get to the next step? Because obviously you were being successful for a long time and something happened and you lost 8K. So, and she actually said some terms in terms of trading. She was like, maybe you're not closing your losses. You need to close your losses a bit sooner. So long story short, I went back and then I did a one-to-one with Scruffy, which was amazing. He was able to pinpoint some things that I needed to work on, and then I continued working on it. And then things started to click. It clicked for a couple of months. I was making a couple of $1,000s a month, and suddenly I was making my first income that was equal to my income with my when I was doing the personal training, working from 5 a.m. to 10 o'clock at night. I had managed to do it from my desk in my office. And that's when I was like, that was my epiphany. That was my moment where I was like, I can do this. This can become a reality. I can become a trader. And it felt really good. And I remember I was just trading, looking at the charts, doing my morning routine, and I'd made $50. I would go back and I would be like, baby, I've made $50. This is unreal. Like, I've just made $50. And then the next hour would have gone by and I was like, I've made $100 today in the last 30 minutes. And then I was like, all right, I can stop now. That's it. I don't need to do any sessions. I've made $250 today. It's like absolutely crazy. So I'm going to stop. And I did that for a couple of days and it was going really, 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 really well, until one day I had a big trade, which I thought was going to reverse the price, but it was going in one direction. It never reversed. And I blew up their account again. So all the profits that I had made had gone, and now I was back to pretty much a very, very small account. And that was tough. It was the second consecutive big loss. This is in a span of like 4 or 5 months. So then I had the realization, I was like, maybe this is not reality. Maybe I should go back to my previous job and try and recoup the money that I've lost. And I'm not gonna lie, I was very down at the time. I was thinking, like, all this time I've invested in trying to figure out something. I've learned all these new skills about trading, and here I am about to quit. And it just didn't feel right. And when I felt like that was quite a low moment, I was like, I'm just gonna try one more time. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna buy a challenge from the Fivers. And they were doing this boot camp for $100,000. So you would have to, it was a hard challenge. You have to pass 3 challenges. And when you pass 3 challenges, then they give you an account of 100,000 to trade with. So then I went back to the drawing board and I was like, look, I need to make small wins. I need to prove myself that I can trade. And if I prove myself that I can trade and get this account, then I'm going to reinvest money into the market. So I started doing phase 1. Phase 1 took me so long. It took me like 3 months to pass. But I could see there was consistency and things were starting to work. And after that, I passed my phase 1 and I celebrated so much. I was like, I can't believe it. I've passed phase 1, and the graph, it was like in 45-degree angle, exactly what I was expecting to see from a profitable trader. So I was like, okay, here we go. Second phase, passed it again. It took less. It took 2.5 months, created a little bit of a buffer, which allowed me to increase a little bit my lot size. And then came the final stage. And in the final stage, it was very close to passing it, and I was like, wow, this is it. And I passed the 3rd phase. And I remember, I'll see if I can find some pictures, but I remember going to celebrate with a champagne over an Italian restaurant and saying, I'm a funded trader. This is it. It's gonna work. I passed 3 difficult challenges and now I'm funded, and I'm gonna have a career as a Forex trader, and not only a Forex trader, but a prop firm funded trader. Few months go by and I'm starting to get into my groove and my analysis, and I was having multiple months of consistent green days. It went up to 6-month consistent green days, which was unbelievable. I was making $500 a day. I had my first 10K month. And at the same time, I had found ICT Concepts, which was actually giving me even better improved entries. And I already had a very good management system, and I came up with something that I now call repositioning, how to decrease risk and how to maximize profits. Everything was coming in together, and I was also doing a lot of work on my psychology and my neuro-linguistic programming, and understanding where my traumas were coming from, why I had to close some trades, why I had to close some winning trades too soon. All these things that we all fight, I was doing really well. And then I hit a wall. I remember it like I can just see it right now. I was over the moon. I had about $29,000 in profit, which I could extract from the account. But I thought, no, this is going to be the at this moment of time, I've passed so many milestones, which now the account has grown from 100K to $225,000. And I was like, this is it. And then another month go by and I'm not $250,000. The next stage was like 275, and then it would be 300, and we're getting closer and closer to 4 million. So I wanted to keep that buffer so I can increase a little bit my risk, allow me to be able to trade a little bit bigger and to get into the multiple millions account, which is from the Fivers. As always with these stories, there's always something that we have to fight through. And when everything was going great and I was feeling amazing, then came the big loss of $22,000. I know it's crazy. I can't believe I did that, but it happened, and it had to happen to become the trader that I am today. At the same time, I had lost my dad, so there was a lot of emotions and a lot of things going on. What started with a 2,000 drawdown, and normally I closed the trade at $2,500. Because I was 29 grand up, I was like, okay, I want to see what happens next. And then I went to 3,000, 4,000, and I don't know, suddenly it was like I couldn't close the trade. I just needed to see that go green because I had so many months of green days. So I couldn't understand how I would have a losing trade. 1 month went by, 2 months went by, and I thought I was going to be managing. It did give me an opportunity where it went from $8,000 down to 2,000. And I was like, instead of closing that trade for a loss, I was like, here we go. Now we're going to get back into our green territory. And it didn't go that way. So I had to close the trade, which was very, very hard. And I've made a video about it. You can go and watch it up here. But when I closed it, there was a realization that I had the ability to do something extremely difficult. I didn't blow the account. I was able to close the account, even if it was very, very, very small. From 29 grand, now I was down in drawdown and had 5,000 left. I managed to close it. And I was super proud of that moment. And that's the moment that turned around my career, because I know it made me realize what I had to become and what person I needed to transform in order to be successful in trading. Brought back the account into healthy and had my most recent payout of 2.5 grand, continuing on the journey now to show everyone how you can pass challenges. Now, the purpose of this video is because I wish I had someone in the beginning where it was like, where I was stuck. When I was on the tube going to work, I remember like being, there's no way out, this is it. And I always wish that there was a video, not a fake one, an actual honest one, where it says, look, everyone says that you can make millions in Forex and so on. And you might do. And I hope so. And I will do one day. But the reality is, what is the best method to get you from where you are now to replace your income you have? If you're making 2.5 grand, let's say a month, or 3,000 a month, 4,000 a month, or 5,000 a month, this is a realistic approach that you can go and have and say, I'm going to replace that income with a full-time Forex, compared to what I did, where I was like, how quickly am I going to hit the million? And yes, it fast tracks it to the learning curve, but in reality, I wish I had someone who had said, you can replace your job working from home and wherever you want, and it can be done this way. But unfortunately, in our industry, everyone wants to talk about the flashy lights. So I've reflected on my journey, and I know this is going to inspire a lot of people. And I do take a lot of, I take it really seriously, the impact that these words have to people. I don't want to lead someone down a road that I know is not a realistic way to make money, because I hated it. I hated the scams. I hated when I invested money where it wasn't actually towards making a living, and it was just to make profit from me. Luckily, I didn't have many of those where I was like, this is a lesson. It's not a scam sort of. I reflected over this new year and going into 2024, what do I want this channel to be? And I was thinking, if I was back working in London at that gym, what would I like someone to tell me? And what information would I need to be able to escape that and come to Bali and live the life that I want? And I realized that the biggest thing that I wish I knew how to do was to pass a challenge. If I could prove myself that I have the skill set to pass the challenge, then not only I've proven that I can make money, but I can also multiply my account. And just the multiplication of the account will just increase my assets and will increase the money that's coming in. And the aim has to be to replace your current job, because it's a lot easier to replace a 2 grand job or a 4 grand job to replace a 12,000 job which doesn't exist and you've never been there. So it's much better to think like, how can I make $1,000 trading, $2,000 trading? How can I pay my bills? How can I do this? And how do I do that? And suddenly your account is getting bigger and bigger. And during that period, you're learning how to trade and learning how to risk manage. You're learning how to evolve as a trader. There you go. There's the intro. As we speak today, I'm a funded trader with the prop firm with a 250,000 account. I've started a challenge which I'm showing you step by step what I do to pass the challenge. And I'm working behind the scenes on something really exciting, what I think is going to help a lot of people. And I'm so excited to give it to you guys. I know it's going to change a lot of people's lives. And that makes me really proud for this channel and for the community that we're building. And I would love one day for all the people that have put in the work. We've started from the same place, done the hard work, and then we've got to a place where now we're replacing our jobs, we're moving into places like Bali to have an amazing community that we can all link together and lift each other up. That's what the channel is, and this is what I'm going to try and provide, and be my service to the world would be, first, an example of how it can be done. Secondly, a guide on how I did it, and a guide in terms of finding how you can do it. And to finally drop the curtain in the Forex world of what it actually looks like to be a real trader, and how long it does take to make good money that you can live a life that you want, but also what does it take to become a multiple five-figure trader, one step at a time. If you do want to find more information about me and how I trade and how I pass challenges, make sure you click in the link. There's a bio description, so you can click on the bio and you'll find a place to put your email in there. And anything that I have that's going to be helpful for you guys, I'm going to put it into that link. So make sure you click on the link, put your email in, and any ebooks or anything that's coming out, I will let you know first. Super happy to have you on the channel. I hope you find some value. And until next time, have a good one.